Everybody flash around and back again in Suzerain. I forgot that there's no save. That you can only save on checkpoints. And I also forgot to press record, so I've been waffling on for about 5 minutes without realising I hadn't actually pressed record. So, news articles. So, yeah, went with I've already looked through these sync levels recording. So, radical, they don't like us. They're right there, the left wing. Let's talk about the elections. So, we're the biggest party, however, because the Communists and the Workers' Party won just below 10% of the vote, they don't pass the 10% electoral threshold, which basically they don't get any seats. Which means even though we only got 37% of the vote, we get over 50% of the seats in the Assembly. So it means that there's a large proportion of the population ain't represented in Parliament. Economics, they want free market economy, government contracts, to private businesses, big infrastructure projects. They just talk about how great celebrations. Let me know what you want to about, because I'm just tempted to skim through these. That's talking about the campaign to amendment to ensure proper allocation of public funding and more accurately affect the party's influence on the legislative body. It's basically reorganising the Parliament, basically. And then talking about the presidential speech. Let me know what, because I don't want to read this entirely, because again it could get a bit boring. So let me know what you want to do about that. I'm just going to skim through them. I did literally just skim through it, but then I looked over at OBS and realised I actually pressed record, which is a bit frustrating. But anywho, right, let's go into briefing on the current political situation. Peter Vector arrived a couple of minutes earlier and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. We did it, Anton. We won. Finally, all those years with our noses to grindstone paid off. Peter's eye sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a damper on his usual rakish charm, but today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and did his top 2 buttons of his shirt. What this will mean, the length of the episode will vary as I try and judge when the next checkpoints come in. And during the secretary I picked out for you, thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your stuff aren't as easy on the eyes. Yeah, we know where that's going. He gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in the university, did you ever imagine we'd be sitting in a ruined palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. I said, and I've got my hands on something special as a note. And Earl being 30 years old, we'll celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. Yeah, ball just hangs to the evening. Looking forward to it. Evelyn hopes to congratulate you in person there. Good to know. It's been some time since I last saw her. I'm sure the kids love to see her. Uncle Peter, first time as Vice President. Let's go with that one. I think it was Frank's birthday. We barely had enough time for our families over these past few months, haven't we? Peter had a wistful look in his eyes. He and Evelyn had never been able to have kids of their own. During our campaign, the opposition had floated the rumour that he'd fathered illegitimate children during his wilder years, but had never been substantiated. Doors swung open and Lucien Gallard, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Gentlemen. The tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you're exactly on time. Hello, Peter. Lucien turned towards me. He very slightly bowed his head. Glad to see you, Lucien. Yeah, let's get on with it. As you wish, sir. Lucien spoke in soft, clipped tones and immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The rate of Southern people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circas are becoming more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change the last government did not. The leader of the reformists believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. I'll move into the details of the plan shortly. I agree with the reformists who have responsibility to democratise the system. We need to listen to the people if we are to save the country. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute the change we need to make good for the country. Yeah. That's exactly what we campaign for. True change will move the country forward. We'll need more allies against the old guard in the government. Victor managed to persuade many members of the Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the reforming wing has had our party still a minority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Franz Victor. The Reformists aren't wrong to agree with that we need change, but we should be in charge. Victor could potentially ally in our goals to maintain a majority in the Assembly. Our party must fall in line. Yeah, he's definitely key on this. The Reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the President's veto powers, ensure the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the Court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. I support the Reformists. We need to balance power in the country. We must listen to the demands, otherwise we are no different from previous administration. I'm gonna go neutral on this. I agree we can't ignore the winds of change after all. The old guard will do their best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. The courts will also file say the constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another. Yeah, I'm with that one. I agree. They have too much power for sordid politics. Let me get a drink. We need to take away their vote in constitutional legislation. It's absurd they get to vote for bills when they aren't even elected. I completely agree with that. We cannot underestimate the situation. We can't. So I'm just fastening my water bottle back up, which I'm now going to move off my desk. We can figure out our party house 130 out of 250 seats. We've got the power. Yeah, well, not all of that 130 supporters though. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes, and a simple majority of the Supreme Court equates to 6 votes. After we've settled on how to proceed, we will talk to party figures. Our first goal must be to get 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we'll reach out to other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the court. The process will take a long time, but we must start working with a reform committee to evaluate the possibilities of a new constitution as soon as possible. We want a more democratic constitution with the reformists. The new constitution should give the president a wide range of powers. Let's go with that one. Preparing for eternally. Don't forget that promise is what got us elected. Key thing is to strengthen the power of the Assembly, which would have a lead with a majority. Peter on an agreement. Yes, the divisions of power at Sordland the divisions of power need to be rebalanced for a better Sordland. According to the initial draft we made, the reformists are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for discussion. The Supreme Court will no longer vote. The Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. Agree. Second, the President's absolute veto should be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing court loopholes. Okay. I have no problems with these clauses. In fact, neither I've got no problems with that at all. Yeah, I've got no problems with that. I think it's dangerous on one person in complete charge. Continue. We'll move a full reform committee together with all the other parties to start reaching out to the stakeholders in the Assembly and the court for a new constitution. But by later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what other parties want. Another important point: we must be aware of the Lothar group. The oligarchs convene under the Organisation of Influence Economic Policies. Conrath led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. I want to work with them Anyway, the new business administration will be open to talk to businessmen. I won't be bought. It won't happen. I will enter dialogue with them eventually. We need to be more diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy, and snobby capitalists run the country. I want to enter a dialogue with them eventually. We need to be diplomatic. Yep. The wise approach is good to understand and see if we can reach a middle ground. As far as I know, Marcel Conrotti has strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. I'm referring to Mr. Conrotti's wide network. That could come in handy. Group's influence is an important force, one that we should use to our administration's advantage. That group is independent of economic policies. They can't move things without us. Yeah. If I can get them to side with us, it all depends on what benefits we can offer and what the leader wants. We should tread carefully on all sides with the power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. Election campaign promised to focus on military. That this was a safe choice. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state. History tells us a dangerous one too. The military can be close allies, and with the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we need them. The Sordland force represent our pride as a nation, fund as promised. I don't want to die in a prison just like Arthur S. wish he did. Yeah. Rumberg is a massive threat, one that requires us to ally with other stronger nations. Defence Minister Isef Lancia is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger, a fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see potential rift between them since they are clearly of different minds. If we act strongly against military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucien, we need to tread carefully here. Lisa looked at his watch. Well, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be around the media strategy. Okay. Yep. And they're gone. Okay. Saving. Right. Okay. I need to look at the saving points. Okay. So we've got learn. Okay, the nature preservation foundation of Lorraine has organised a march promoting ecological practice, nature preservation. The events witnessed a significant participation, demonstrating local communities' commitment to environmental issues. This peaceful demonstration has raised awareness of Lorraine's unique biodiversity. Okay, interesting. Nobel. Research team has announced new gas fields discoveries at Nobel. These discoveries enhance the city supplies and play significant on the broad landscape. Gas fields, so mine that. Okay. Applications, we can get gas over there. Okay, so there, nobody else. Dyer, my home city. The region of Berg is amongst the worst hit regions in Sordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. 25% of people homeless. Particularly stark among the Bludge people, where homelessness has increased by 72% in just 6 years. This is report homelessness among ethnic minorities at the highest level in more than a decade. The Bludge minority of the region now account for nearly half of homeless people. They're blimey. What else have we got over here? So quick look. I didn't know that way, did I? Let's go this way. So we've got that there. So I've got, sorry, my mask is a bit crazy. So overview. Compulsory military service. Department of Defence. Furthermore, general defence has flexible system of guidance. 45 law enforcement. Okay, fine. Law. That's our different law situation. Economy. On memberships, special decrees. Yeah, this is what it was. So, 50. A political party needs a minimum of 10% of the total national vote seats in the National Assembly. The votes of this party to pass session are redistributed proportionally. So basically, Reform Committee, we've just formed that. So we've got military interference, outside military, British generals, no equipment. Court backlog, limited women's rights, Okay, so they're the serious problems, not the serious problems. Economy. Oh my God, it's nice, isn't it? Weak transport links, unemployment crisis, tax evasion, decreased trade volume, big economy plummeting. That's where we just have the oil in it. That welfare. Yep. Okay, order, corruption. Okay, diplomacy. Right. Okay. All right. Let's come off that. I've got 8 news articles. Okay. Fire strikes Halsall State University. Okay. Again, let me know if you want me to go through this lot. Read it all in detail. Goiton, there's a committee which includes. So that's the committee, the reform committee. There's been a big fire at this university archive. Okay. Done that one. Economist abandons Lothenberg because they conclude exclusive conclave. As announced, his departure, Lothenberg decision be fueled by a growing disillusionment with interests of the secretive organisation. Okay. Swedish National League starts the season. That's football. Okay. A bill to change criteria for allocation of public funds to political parties. Proposed Representative Alvin Clavin, ESP. The bill aims to change criteria from proportional votes and won in the election to the proportion of seats won by a political party. So that benefits us. Okay, that benefits USP. Okay. Radical unearth. This is an incident. Okay. Format. Per anonymous sources indicate the act of foreign aggression to destroy Sordland, but the government conspiracy to gain influence. Materials related to members of the God faction reveal startling information about the number of high-ranking government officials in the instance, some of which are in powerful positions today. This incident. What is an incident then? There's a bloody protest occurred in 1933. This largely regarded as one of the most foundation moments of the Bloodish movement. In 1933, the Sordland project was proposed as a long-term solution to Bergia and Sordland's energy problems. Village elder assessed was shot by one of the soldiers. He caused person violent. Target press were killed. So basically, it was a damn project, big protest. Bloodish man got killed. Everybody got angry. This is some total of that. And radicals covering it. Retailers claim to an offshore gas field. Now this is new. In a surprising move, the Kingdom of Riza has officially laid claim to the newly discovered Oris offshore gas fields near the Kingdom Duchy of Palace, putting immense pressure on the small nation. This move caused energy prices to fluctuate significantly across the European continent. Riza's claim is based on historical record and maritime boundary agreements that date back to decades. So that's local regional stuff. Of viewing the recent military aggressive military and diplomatic moves of Lundberg. Conclusion: highlight Lundberg will try and push further south and take us. Okay. Yep. Okay. Come off that one. Come off that one. See if we get a world map. So again, Rizia. Yes, so basically, tiny little country with ordinary people getting bullied by another kind of little country with not a lot of people, but bigger, basically. That's definitely a new feature of the game. That's what the DLC is coming to next later in the year. Is coming into the Kingdom of Rizia. Let's just go back over to there. Like I said, let me know what you want me to. If you want me to go into more detail of the newspaper stuff, I'm just kind of skimming at the moment. Briefing, call economic situation, read the report. It's reading Guns Tourism Act. This act to enhance cultural and tourism appeal in several cities. Okay. And then we've got logistical issues, escalating traffic, burgeoning population, rapid urban expansion, lack of oppressive large-scale land-based logistics hubs serving convergent point. It's basically transport's an issue. Basically, let's. Oh my god, how many reports? General staff. Oh, we've entered a meeting. Okay, they're happy with us. Report has a complete description that indicates a near complete description of employee records from 1890 till now. Original copies international recognised, academic research destroyed. All's very terrible. Oh my god. Views in different form. The structures changed over the last decade. Promise propaganda. Okay, we've got 55% of people support reformist ideas. Briefing on company situation.